Okay, I thought that you might like a second brainstorming session over the fact set here. You've got the one that we have on Moodle, but again, I think that the problem with run-ons for leads is not a deal breaker at all. It is very common because you're trying to put multiple thoughts in the lead. And so how you start and how you add information is really where you're going to be able to conquer that issue. It's not anything that's not uncommon again, because you're trying to say a lot in one sentence, right? So sometimes you have sentences that you look at the lead and it's like two sentences. How can you connect those thoughts, right? So let's look at the story really quickly to find out what happened. We have, now you need to fix your AP style errors in here. You know they're going to have some, so go ahead and see what those are. I'll give you one. This guy's title needs to be capitalized before his name. This is a direct quote. You can use it the way it is, or you can paraphrase it and take the quotation marks off of it. So what happened? A helicopter crashed into the Mississippi River on Friday. So one thing about this is the Mississippi River has a lot of tributaries coming off of it. So what happened, it looks like, is it crashed in the Mississippi River Friday, and the guy floated into Bayou Sara. The people fishing in Bayou Sara saw a helicopter crash, right? And then later, some people found the man 12 hours later clinging to a propane bottle by the mouth of Bayou Sara, so probably close to where it joined the Mississippi River. Okay, so the guy floated around and ended up in this place. So he was in the water 12 hours, and they found him. Now you want to look for unusual situations, those kinds of things that make a story human. Here's this man. He was found. We don't have his name. We don't need to say we don't have his name. But the sheriff's office has withheld his identity. I'm not sure why. We don't really know. But he was treated at a hospital for exposure and complications from diabetes. Now, when we talk about the sheriff's office, the first time we want to say this, right? But then after that, you can use the abbreviation. So anytime in AP style, you want to say the full name first, and then use the abbreviation after that. So he told deputies that he left Lafayette, which is a city in Louisiana, in this helicopter, and you can go ahead and call it just like this, before 4 a.m. Friday, and then crashed about 45 minutes later, right? So it would have been at the in the late afternoon that these witnesses, that people found the guy finally, right? And so it's not a really long story, but you got multiple who's, right? So the biggest, probably the most important who would be the guy. Now, we don't know his name, so we could say a helicopter pilot. We could start with him, right? Now, this is one where you might do a passive voice just because somebody found him and we're focused on him. And that's one of those times where it's okay to do it. You can say, a helicopter pilot, what was he doing? Clinging to a propane bottle, right? Sometimes it helps if you finish talking about the person or whatever you're talking about. A helicopter pilot was found clinging to a propane bottle, right? So that's one way to help you not to have run-ons and kind of bounce around. So now this is the guy. Where is he? Why is he there, right? He was found clinging to a propane bottle. We can say where. It would have been Friday afternoon, or We don't really know exactly the time, but we know it's Friday afternoon, and then you can describe all this other stuff later. Here, after his helicopter crashed, right, in the Mississippi River. So, and you can fill in those details, but basically, that's my way of trying to smoothly say it. Finish talking about one thing. This guy was found clinging to a propane bottle. Where? When? Okay. And why, right? He was found clinging to a propane bottle by the mouth of Bayou Sara at this time because his helicopter crashed, right? So that's your lead. You're not going to be able to say everything, and again, it's you're not writing a synopsis. You're actually just telling us what happened. Or a summary. A summary is hard to write. That's why I'm like, we're not even going to do that. We're going to tell you the details. Now, my second paragraph, I can begin. The second paragraph is when I can fill in the blanks. So remember, the second paragraph, you get 4 type lines, across the page. That's your length. It can be shorter than that, but the reason it's that way is because it helps the audience. So the second paragraph becomes really important the longer these stories get, because I need to tell you a little bit about how he got into Bayou Sara in the first place, right? That he told deputies this happened, it crashed, he floated, they found him. Whatever you can fit in those 4 type lines, and that's 4 type lines across the page. So if I were gonna, this right here, this is 2.5, right? So I literally mean 4 type lines across the page. So it can be shorter than that. So here's one, again, we can start with him. What about the witnesses? Witnesses fishing in Bayou Sara. Okay, I can do them. I can start with rescuers without going into the detail of who all those people were. It's the crisis response team from the sheriff's office. By the time you say all that, you're going to really suck up half the life of your lead. I can do rescuers found a helicopter pilot. By calling him this rather than just a man, I have already set the stage for what this guy was doing. He's probably got lots of identities. He might be a dad, a brother, a friend, a husband. But he is, in this story, a helicopter pilot. So by going directly there, I'm already telling you a lot. Okay. So I hope this helps you. Let me know if you have any questions.